Y'all, so welcome back. We're here for yet another episode of the Fitness Headspace Podcast, hosted by yours and only Deion and your girl Joy Monique over here as well. And so, y'all,
hold on.
Days.
All right, we're ready now.
Boom, 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 boom. Bangers, banger. We need some kind of edits. We need edits. We need some shooms happening.
I'm weak.
Oh, you be having right now. Okay, so so as y'all can see by the title of this episode, y'all, we're talking about weight loss plateaus. Whoo, this is going to be a good one right here. Who has not honestly been on any kind of weight loss journey and has hit a point where it's like, oh, so we're not on one accord. I want to lose weight, but the body's not on the same page. Well, why is it not connected? What we're doing. So yeah, we're definitely going to go into everything as far as what a plateau is. We know what kind of makes the body go into a plateau, and then ways to still get through it, get past it, continue on, have a successful weight loss journey. And so, of course, our king, Deion, has to go ahead and get us started and let us know what a plateau is so we can know what we're, dealing with.
For sure. So to really think about it, everybody, like Joyce said, we've all been through some type of plateau, and we have a couple of different ones that we kind of want to hit, like as far as on the nail. So the number one thing is when you're going through a plateau, not having the right weight loss plan in place causes you to stick at that weight. So usually you sticking at a weight is your plateau. But one of the things is having something in place so okay, this is what we're going to do on a week-to-week basis. This is how I'm going to track, et cetera, right? But you also have to be mindful that some of the things that cause your plateau is your body. So adapting to a new, whether it's an exercise regimen, like routine, or either a new diet, that will make a huge difference as well, too. Third, your metabolism. So the metabolic rate of how your body processes everything that you're doing, and that goes hand in hand with things like stress factors. So external factors like, hate to say it this way, but, relationship issues, family issues, not sleeping can all cause stress. Also work, believe it or not. So these are all things, the way that I kind of wanted to put it, I know it sounded all over the place, but to generalize what might cause a plateau, but your plateau usually ends up where you're just at a halt and you probably don't know exactly why it's being caused. And some of the reasons that I just gave you are going to be some of the reasons why. And what Joy and I are going to do now moving forward is kind of explain what happens during that time frame of you going through what we call the plateau. So I'm going to hand the baton back to Queen Joy.
Ooh, and I got it. So yes. So typically, our bodies are designed to function a certain kind of way, right? And so our body necessarily does not like to lose weight. Our body wants able to maintain its weight. So what happens is that, if you're losing weight, it's been a few months, you're going there, you're doing fine. Your body's just like, okay, hold on. What's going on? I see a lot of changes happening right now. I really want to keep things nice and steady. And so what could happen is that your hormones actually start to kind of shift a little bit to where you may even see your appetite changes, or you may even want to even crave more food. That's your body trying to send signals like, okay, I see we're trying to eat less. We're burning more calories, we have less, like this excess fat to pull from. Let's try to boost our, hunger senses, make sure that we're actually taking in enough food each and every day. So that's one thing that your body kind of, in a way, works against you when it comes to your weight loss journey. But of course, everything's able to be overcome with some good strategy. So you have that. And then, of course, like as you go into where your diet, we start to get consume less calories over time, your body is actually, you're able to lose weight. And then with that lesser weight, your body actually needs lesser calories to function properly. So even say you went from eating, let's say 1,800 calories per day, you went down to like 1,400. But where you're at now with your weight, your body may only need around 1,250 to 1,300 calories to, function properly, for you not to feel hungry or tired or anything like that. Even with you having your calories reduced to that level, your body actually needs less to be able to still function and still be in a deficit to where you're able to, to lose weight. So kind of like, factoring in how your body changes and what it actually needs at that current time. It's kind of one way your body kind of just goes into that plateau mode. And then, of course, with anything, we also have our own little ways of doing things as well. So, where any new program, any new lifestyle change, at some point, it can come time when we may tend to fall off the wagon just a little bit, kind of teeter off to the side just a little bit, which is natural. It happens. But during those times, depending on how long they last, it can, of course, affect how your body is able to metabolize food, how it's able to burn off the fat and everything. So that can kind of hit you to where, even if you're still hitting like those very high intense workouts, your calories may have just crept up on you a little bit because you're starting to, add a little more food to the plate. You've been going out and just like, I'm gonna get like a burger here, get a little whatever over here. And it's kind of starting to like equal out to where you're not able to see that change in your weight as you did when you first started off doing your weight loss diet. And then of course, with that as well, you also have to where how the body functions is where as you lose fat, your body also loses a little bit of muscle as well. And muscle is a thing that helps your body to work its metabolic system to where it's able to help you burn off fat. The more muscle you build, the more fat you're able to burn that way as well. So that little loss of muscle here and there can kind of go into how your body is able to process your calories, your carbs, your proteins, your fats, and all that kind of good stuff. So it's and that can kind of typically happen depending on how the person starts. I would say anywhere between 3 to 6 months. You can kind of reach a place where you might end up hitting a plateau within your workout routine. And it's time to just switch it up, change a few things up and kind of be able to overcome your weight loss plateau. And so I'm gonna let Deion kind of get into the very beginnings of how we're gonna be able to take that next step to kind of go over that weight loss plateau, give you guys some real tangible things to do to get to that next level. So
Chia, thank you. So the first thing, and we say it all the time, know your reason, like have an intent of what you're doing and why you're doing it. Know your why. What's your why? Because if there's no why, you're literally going to end up on this program or this journey kind of just doing it just to do it and expecting something from it, but not knowing exactly what you want from it, So the first thing is checking your calories. That's the number one thing. And I don't want people to think when we're saying this, like, hey, you have to track your calories. What we're saying is just be mindful of what you're consuming. So the easiest analogy that I use all the time with whether it's myself, Joy, other people, whoever I talk to, I always tell them, you can't go to a physician or whoever the case is your first time and expect the doctor to give you a prescription for anything. So it's like, hey, you come in, all right, Joy, I'm gonna give you a prescription for da-da-da-da-da. It's like, hold on, doc, I didn't tell you what's wrong.
Time to that as a red flag. If they do that, it's a red flag, child.
Right, so it's like you really haven't had a grasp of what your body needs to function on a day-to-day basis. So like Joy said, depending on the person, age, height, weight, all these different things come into play. So you have to be very mindful of that. So, and your activity. This is why I would suggest something like any app. It doesn't matter which app, but the one that we use is Chronometer. So CRONO and then the word meter all together. It has a little apple. The reason being is because it has everything that all the other apps have. There's a few things that are a little bit different as far as probably some of the foods that could be entered in. So maybe like a MyFitnessPal would be the next best bet for most people because you've heard of that one. The reason why I think Chronometer is super, super imperative for a lot of people that are starting is one, you can do it on your phone. Two, you still have the access on the website, but it lets you see things that are very important. So not only just your macros, like your protein, carbs, and fat, but your micronutrients and your vitamins. So vitamin A, C, folate, zinc, B12, all B6, omega-3, omega-6. I know a lot of these things you probably don't know too much of or you heard of or seen on the back of a box. But being able to be mindful of having all of that included, even if, you're not hitting everything, but it's a really good way to gauge it. So let's say, for example, my dad actually just came back from the doctors. He got his blood work and he's deficient in vitamin D. So if we would have, we just started this week, but if we would have started using it earlier, and this is a perfect example because it happens to everybody. If we were using this earlier, we'd have a better indication of All right, cool. We probably need to get some food like mushrooms or whatever that can increase that vitamin D. So definitely track your calories. And I always say just for 1 week, at least 1 week minimum. So start from Sunday to Saturday or however y'all start your weeks. I don't know, everybody different. But what you want to see is the average. So if you have an average of, for your height, weight, age, activity level, you're supposed to be taking in 2,600 calories to, or let's say 24 to 22 to 2,400 calories. They'll give you an exact number to start dropping your weight for your weight loss. Then you want to try to see how close you can get to that, or see what you're already eating now. Let me rephrase it. See what you're eating now, how close you are to that number. So if you're getting 1,800 compared to the 22, that means we need to ramp up. We're a little bit too low. We want to get up a little bit higher and then slowly, make our way down. And I'll explain to you why in just a second. So as you get that number, now that you see that, okay, cool, we need 2,200. Now the next step is to reduce by 100, 150, 200, 250 calories. 250 is really pushing it, and I'm going to explain to you in just a second why. Because what happens is, let's say that we start at 2,500, right? You take off 250, and then you're going to continuously take off a little bit at a time. So we're talking about approximately every 2 weeks to, depending on the person. So I know some people, the first week, they'll be good. The second week, it'll plateau, which is where we go into a plateau. So there's two options, right? You can either drop a little bit or increase your activity, which I'm going to explain as well. I'm explaining a lot. There's a lot of, I know y'all got questions, but it's already thought of, right?
A lot of things going on. There's a lot of nuances to this
Exactly.
conversation.
So now the next thing that you can do, if you don't necessarily want to adjust your calories, the next thing to do is literally switch out your workout so you can increase the duration or the type of strength training that you're doing. So you could do something like a HIIT workout once or twice a week. I like to space them apart from one another. I would never suggest doing them back to back. You need time for your body to recover. So if you're doing it on Monday, wait till maybe even Thursday, depending on what you have on Wednesday. If you don't have anything, then you can push it out. It'll give you another form of being able to utilize or burn more calories. Let me just keep it simple. Burn more calories. That's one way. Now, the other thing that a lot of people don't realize is that when it comes to HIIT workouts, it does help with, your more of the like conditioning aspect, your lung capacity. There's a whole bunch of different things that you can incorporate with the HIIT workout. But primarily, it's to be able to get that energy and exert all that energy in a short amount of time and still burn, if not the same amount of calories, but usually more calories. Yes. And then you'll have that tip over. It's kind of like it spills over into the next day. So you kind of get a little bit of the after effects, not only on that day, but afterwards as well, too.
That's how I love a good HIIT workout. Love.
I'm going to let y'all keep that. I'm okay. I'm going to just go ahead and do some more walking. I'm going to do some more cardio. That's how I like to get it done.
We do it 30 seconds on, 10 seconds rest. Boom, boom, boom.
I don't know. My heart feel like it's in my throat with some 10 seconds. Y'all can keep that. So, Joy has her version of what she likes to do. So that's where the HIIT sessions come in. Personally, for myself, I still, do from time to time a little bit of HIIT with some clients when I'm working with them. But I like to just increase my steps, y'all. If y'all want to find the easiest way to balance out your caloric deficit, that would be the way. So just to put it in perspective, I know there's a lot of things that are moving around. If you're at 2,200 calories, you usually have two main options, or three, technically. The first option is to reduce your calories by roughly 100 to 250 calories from what you have. Your second option is to move more. That can either be daily activity, daily steps, running after the kids, gonna go play ball, whatever the case is. Or increasing your cardio time. They're still the same thing. It's just two different forms. Whatever you like to do on your downtime, as far as activities, if you're moving around, play ball instead of doing cardio. That's still technically cardio. Full body workout at that. Okay. So that's one way to do it. Other than that, the next thing that you can do, which kind of segues into our previous episodes, if you have not seen it, we're going to do a shameless plug and tell you to go watch it. So intermittent fasting, it does create a very great eating habit and eating schedule for you. So being able to say that at a certain time, it's not even the fact of, don't eat after 8. It's more of look at it in a different perspective. I'm giving my body 8 to 10 hours to digest and process all the food that I've been eating within the window that I'm supposed to be eating. So if you're doing a 16-8, you have 16 hours to literally take rid of all of the waste, all the byproduct, making sure that your body gets all the nutrients that it needs within that time frame once it's recovering and repairing.
Perspective. I don't think about it as like, oh, I have all this time to not eat. Your body has all this time to burn off more calories, to burn off your food. You're doing yourself a service by doing it. But of course, like you said, it's back in episode 23. So I'll go ahead and just tap back on this video, go to the page, and then go right down to the last episode. Check that one out. We'll go into more detail about that.
Yes, we will have it linked up at the top. So you're going to see a little card come out. Y'all go ahead and click on that. And it'll give you that previous episode. But like Joy said, man, just really be mindful of that. That's really important. One of the last things as well is learn how to be comfortable with not always stepping on the scale. So the way that I like to tell a lot of clients when they first start is do your weight every 6 weeks or every 2 weeks. I know it sounds crazy, but it depends on the person. I know some clients, they're cool with doing it every day. And that makes both of our lives a lot easier when we're looking at what needs to be adjusted. Yeah. Then I have clients, or you might have clients that do this. This is probably the most popular, once a week. So usually on a weekend, usually Sunday, completely use the restroom, what you got to do, get on that scale, and then, report what it is. And then we could kind of keep an eye on that every 7 days. For people that are a little bit more reluctant as far as getting on the scale, then maybe we need to open up that gap a little bit wider, and that's okay. The only thing is that it's going to be a little bit harder to dictate where you are consuming your food, things of that nature, which you'll have an indication because your app is going to tell you like, hey, Deion, you eating way too much, homeboy. Like you 300 calories over for the last 7 days. Yeah, it's going to be a problem. I'm going to gain some weight. So just be mindful of not being attached to that number, not being attached to the scale, because here's the main reason why. Muscle weighs more than fat. So I've literally had this situation happen not too long ago where I had a client step on the scale. She's like, damn. She's like, my weight ain't budge. I said, but your measurements on your legs got thicker. I was like, homie, you're adding on more weight. You know what I'm saying? In a sense of muscle mass. So or I should say, because it stayed the same, your body composition is what changed. So now we have more muscle and we have less fat. That's real. In all reality, that's what most people want. People say they want to lose weight, but most people want to have a little bit of definition, or as they call tonality, and then, have a low body fat ratio with a decent amount of, muscle mass. So just keep in mind that your composition is going to change throughout that time. So those are some of the things you want to, all the technical stuff that goes on between that. But what I'm going to do is pass it off to Joy so she can kind of give y'all some of the insights of, in the event of going into a plateau, and once you realize your plateau, what would you do next or moving forward?
Well, to kind of pick it off, what you just said about getting off that scale, please, whatever you do, if that scale gives you any kind of serious anxiety, it's okay. Take a step off, because your body, it shows in other ways how you're able to move through your journey. So taking your measurements, that's for me the best way to see how you're making progress, because you can be losing inches, but not losing, you could be losing inches, gaining muscle, but the scale is not moving at all. So I just kind of be able to see how your body, gets transformed through other ways. It's a way for you to still feel motivated. And then, of course, having that outfit that you always wanted to, to wear, to look real saucy. And it's okay, one day I'm going to really get into this. And with that, take pictures, try it on one day when you're just starting out, see how everything looks, get your different angles in the camera, all that kind of good stuff. And then every 6 weeks, come back, put that same outfit on, and see how it's starting to just hang on you now. Oh, now it just fits a little bit better. It's not as tight and snug. Now it just feels more comfortable. You feel more like you're able to really go out and feel like, your best self in this new outfit. So that's, you have different ways to be able to still gauge how you're doing without having to step on the scale every other hour or every other week. So you have that as well. And then, of course, with anything that's new, it's okay to take breaks. Like breaks are honestly good for not only your physical, but for your mental health as well, because you don't want to constantly go into what's called like exercise addiction or any kind of like addictions to where you're not thinking about your weight loss journey in a healthy manner. You're thinking about, I have to go, I have to lose weight, I got to work out, I got to work out 2 hours, I got to eat like 900 calories a day, anything that's so dramatic because you're trying to get to an end result. Like, I understand that we start off doing this because we want to look better physically. That's common. We all do that. I'm still in that point. But at the same time, it's like you're also like once you really get your foot into it and you feel the difference that comes with being able to feel more energized, to have more endurance, to have more stamina, to have better sleep, all these kind of things come from you having a better wellness routine. It becomes more than just about how you look physically, because the physical part will show up on itself because you're putting in the work for it. So that's not a thing that you really have to worry about. If you're eating the right foods, getting a good fiber intake, getting your workouts in, strength training, adding more steps, or doing your HIIT workouts, or however you have your plan set up. If you're doing these things and staying consistent, you're going to see those results when it comes to your appearance. But also taking, account to if you get tired one day, you've had a long day, the boss has been just in your ear, and either me or Deion or whoever your trainer is saying like, hey, today getting no workout. Ooh, look, it's one of them days I can't really, it's no hard feelings. It's nothing that's going to be like make or break. This is your journey. We're here to assist you with your lifestyle change. If you can't do it that day, do it the next day, or do it that following week. Like you can make it in that next weekend or have it that fit into your schedule, but allow yourself time to recover, all that kind of good stuff. And then also a little hack is like, when it comes to your diet as well, it could be beneficial for you to kind of increase your caloric intake if you go into a plateau and then bring it back down. Now, do this if you can be like, only if you have a strong mind to know when to bring it back down. But that'll be a good way to be able to kind of like shock your body into getting more calories. You might temporarily gain a little bit of weight. It kind of comes with the territory. But when you bring it back down again and still keep that level of your activity up, it kind of like helps your body to like reset a little bit when it comes to the weight loss. And that way it kind of like goes into the mode of, oh, we're eating again. And then when we bring it back down, now it's like, okay, now we're able to burn that same amount of fat again, maybe even a little bit more. It's like a little bit of side hack for y'all who may want to try it out. I would say maybe like no more than a week or so to bring it back up. You don't want to go into that too long as it can, because it takes like what 3 weeks to make like a brand new habit. We don't want to go back on our habits. So give it like a real short amount of time to bring those calories back up and then back down to what you had during your diet regimen. But then it's like also what Deion said, like managing those stress levels, because that's the most hidden thing that can have the biggest impact on our overall health, let alone the weight loss journey. So make sure that you have, like I said, times to be able to decompress from your day. So make sure you have a good amount of sleep, have ways to, it's kind of, very therapeutic for you to be able to have a nice release from your day to day, whether it's just having time to be out by yourself, reading a book, just being sitting out in nature, or having time with your family and friends, not worrying about work or business or kids or pets or whatever. Just have some kind of thing that's just for you to be able to kind of like do a reset, able to manage your own stress levels by whatever means that works best for you, because that will help your body and overall, and still help you to go into to get past your plateaus, because too much stress can actually stunt your weight loss results. So managing that is going to be a real key thing for you to really do to stay consistent on this journey. And then, of course, with that stress reduction, you make sure you have good sleep as well. I think I mentioned this before in the last episode too, but I cannot say it enough. Making sure you have good amount of sleep. Like I said, between 6 to 8 hours, depending on the age and like everything. But it's like, those are the times where your body has to be able to process your food, to be able to, to get rid of old cells, to build up new cells. It's time for your body to really get most of its hard work done when you're in that rested state. So making sure that you set things, like set aside time in your schedule. If you got to take a 30-minute nap during your break at lunch, make that a part of your schedule. Do it, get it in however you can, but make sure your body, it's like, as long as you're working out and eating good, getting your rest is going to be like the next big thing for you to make sure that you stay consistent with. when it comes to your, weight loss journeys. But essentially, when it comes to everything, it's just about being able to, like we always say, like, stay very mindful of your body. If you see yourself starting to kind of like stay stagnant at a certain kind of weight, take note. Like, so if you've been like, checking your food intake or your calories for so long, you're like, okay, I know I'm eating like this amount of calories per day, but now I'm hitting like a plateau. Like I say, either bring the calories back down, or you could, like I said, shoot up for a brief moment, then bring it back down and get them back, going that way. Or on the opposite end, increase your activity levels to start to, either change up the intensity of your workout, whether it's just like, the HIIT training, adding strength training, especially is really good for getting past a weight loss plateau, because it just burns so many calories just picking up them weights, them dumbbells, them barbells, getting those like, good machines that will burn a lot of calories for you to be able to kind of just push past and just add another level of intensity without having to do so much extra work doing your workouts. Or like how Deion said, even just take it a little bit slower, just adding a few more, like, steps to your day of your own activities, or adding a few minutes here and there to your workouts. Make sure that you're still able to kind of just take your body through a natural progression without feeling so overwhelmed by trying to do too much too fast. So like, as soon as you do that, you should start seeing results, like I said, like pretty shortly afterwards, I think, like, stay consistent with this new regimen. And it's like, change, like, just have fun with your diet, whichever, like, the food that you eat. Getting a good amount of fiber in your diet as well is going to be a good thing to do to try to make sure that you're still able to get those calories burned. Increasing your water intake could be one small thing to do, to make sure that your body's still able to get rid of the waste, all that extra food that could be stuck in those intestines. Increasing your water intake can be a good way to kind of just help push things all the way through and out. And so hopefully this video kind of just help you guys put things into a greater perspective. Like, it's not a things where you could be so like, oh my God, oh my God, why am I still at this weight? Why is the scale? Y'all over here throwing scales out the window, over the balcony, because the scale's lying. The scale could be telling the truth, but it's fine. We can let it say that for as long as it needs to. But now we know that we have to change a few things to see what we want to see, and then know what works best for that. If not the scale, do the measurements. If not that, put on your clothes and see how your physique looks. Just find what works best for you physically and mentally. And then, when you're ready to hop back on the scale and then see what you get from that going forward. So I wasn't sure if y'all wanted to add anything else at the end of this episode to kind of help us what's going on.
Yeah. No, you hit everything beautifully. I think there's three things that I kind of wanted to touch base on. I just didn't want to interrupt you in the middle of it. First thing, well, you had mentioned it not too long ago. One, have fun. Make sure you're having fun. Two, realize that this journey that you're going through is going to become a lifestyle. Okay, this is not a chore. This is something that you signed up for. Somebody got to give it to y'all black and white. And the reason why I say it that way is just because of the fact that people will get discouraged and be mad. I'm like, well, you signed the contract. That's the easiest way to put it. It's like, you signed your name on the dotted line. You wanted to do this. Never said it was going to be easy. And if we haven't said that, I'm going to tell you right now. All right. So that was the number one thing. Secondly, when it comes to watching your stress levels, to put it in another perspective, anxiety causes what? Stress. Fear causes what? Stress. Lack of sleep causes what? Stress. Which are all things that cause one of your hormones, it's called cortisol, to shoot through the roof. The fact of your stress levels going up, doesn't matter in what factor, of what shape, way or form, is causing some type of, hindrance or plateau in your progress. So again, just a different perspective for that. Lastly, when it comes to, and you hit it, but I just want to be a little bit more detailed for certain people, because I know there's going to be people, wait, what about this? What about this? All I'm saying is if you decide to take that diet break, is what I would consider it, or a meal plan break, whatever you want to call it. But when you take that break, it's okay to go for more than 1 to 2 weeks. Sometimes I have some people on it for 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the person. That's why, again, a week it makes a lot of sense for people who are just trying to get a feel of it and not get lost in the sauce of like, okay, we're going up 300 calories. Like, let's keep it rocking. Because before you know it, it'll be that one food that you eat, that one thing, 450 calories off, rip, gone. You know what I'm saying? So be very mindful of that. So if you're going to go up in calories, 100, the same concept, 100 to 250 calories. Let it sit for about 1 to 2 weeks. See how your body changes. If it doesn't change, that's okay. You can hold that same increase of calories for another 1 to 2 weeks. Like Joy said, it's probably going to go up a little bit, and that's okay. You want to just give your body enough time to realize, okay, we're not I don't want to put it this way, but the way I would think about it is if I'm inside my body's telling me, hey, we're in starvation mode in a sense. We're going to try to utilize whatever we can as long as we can. So if you can basically get your mind out of, oh, okay, she's feeding me more again. I got extra 200, 300 calories. So when it's time to pull it back down, it won't be as drastic, or you don't have to worry about the plateau again. So just wanted to clear that up as well too. But other than that, I have nothing else to say. But besides the fact that we greatly appreciate everybody that comes on to this podcast and watches this. It genuinely does mean a lot to the both of us. Now, keep in mind, we got them coming out every Friday, 8 p.m. We're going to leave all that information at the bottom, right? Links to our bios and all that stuff through IG, Facebook, here where we are now. And then keep in mind, we do got some new merch coming out. Got some new merch coming out. Y'all see the little Get Fit Don't Quit logo, you know what I'm saying? All right. So just remember, all the pre-orders are going to be starting at the end of this month. And then we're going to start doing shippings that are going to be going out at the beginning of November. Not crossing my fingers. We're getting it done. Joy.
Okay. And then with that, we ask every single time, just for a little bit of favors, a little favor right here, y'all. Just take this video, okay? Share it out with 3 people. There's 3 of them. A friend, a cousin, or associate. Does not matter who. Anybody who may enjoy the podcast, enjoy whatever we bring as far as information or knowledge, or may have even more questions they may want to ask us. Have them come through, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, let us know what you guys are thinking as well. And of course, with that, just get the word out. You guys have any other things that you guys want us to kind of just talk on for our next one? Like I said, this is always here for you. So your feedback here is imperative. It is essential. It is wanted and needed. So let us know how we can better help you through your journeys as well. But with that, y'all, it has been another amazing episode. Thank y'all for coming to the Fitness Headspace Podcast.
We appreciate y'all.
We'll catch y'all in the next one.
All right.